What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to talk about safety DeMarcco Hellams, and will DeMarcco Hellams have a significant role with the Atlanta Falcons this season? But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content or NFL content. If you'd like to follow your boy on Twitter and Instagram, you can follow me at Jew Talk Sports. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can donate to my Cash App, which is the $ Jew Talk Sports. And if you'd like to be a part of my Jew Talk Sports membership, you can hit that join tab here on the channel as well. With that being said, let's jump right into the video. So as I mentioned in today's video, I do want to talk about safety DeMarcco Hellams, and will he carve out a significant role in 2025? Personally, I do believe that DeMarcco Hellams is one of those guys that could carve out a role on this Atlanta Falcons team. As you guys remember, last season, DeMarcco Hellams missed the full 2024 season with an ankle injury. He did get injured during the preseason, but heading into the season last year, he was scheduled to be the starting safety opposite of Jesse Bates before he went down with that ankle injury. And then the Falcons went out during training camp right before the season, and they brought in Justin Simmons on a one-year deal because DeMarcco Hellams was hurt for the season. He was placed on IR at that time, but he did have a really good rookie season in 2023. He had about 4 starts late in the season, had about 40 tackles in 2023, and played really well under defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen before he went on to Jacksonville last season. But I do think DeMarcco Hellams at 6'1", 205 pounds. He played his college ball at Alabama. I do think he's one of those guys that could carve out a role and compete during training camp and during preseason to possibly be a starter on this team opposite of Jesse Bates. Now, he does have his work cut out for him because the Falcons did go out and bring in Jordan Fuller, a guy who was familiar with Raheem Morris, played for the LA Rams. We also drafted Xavier Watts out of Notre Dame that also plays that safety role. But I still think that DeMarcco Hellams is going to have something to say about that starting role when it's all said and done. DeMarcco Hellams is one of those guys, like I mentioned, is a physical safety. They call him the hitman for a reason. They talk about him bringing that physicality to a defense. And I really feel like every defense need that Keanu Neal type player, that player similar to a Cam Chancellor with the Seattle Seahawks when they had the Legion of Boom, a player that is not afraid to put their helmet or their shoulder pads in somebody's chest if they come across the middle of the field. And DeMarcco Hellams is one of those type of players that's a tone setter. That's the role he played with the Alabama Crimson Tide. And I really feel like that's a role that he could also play for our Atlanta Falcons. We know that Jesse Bates is one of those guys that's a feared safety in the league as well, but he's mainly known for his ball hawking skills. Now, Jesse Bates, don't get me wrong, can tackle and things of that nature, but I really feel like you need one of those safeties to do the dirty work. A guy that's not afraid to, like I said, lay the boom on guys and set the tone. And I really feel like DeMarcco Hellams could be that guy for this Atlanta Falcons defense that does the dirty work. I'm not sure if he'll be the starter because I do feel like that's going to be a really good competition that I'm going to be watching during training camp and during preseason between Jordan Fuller, between DeMarcco Hellams, and between Xavier Watts. But if push comes to shove, and DeMarcco Hellams doesn't carve out a role on the defense as far as at that safety position, I definitely can see him being a solid special teams player. If anything else, I definitely think that he still will make this roster, but I definitely think that he's not going to lay down and not going to give that starting role to a guy like Xavier Watts or to Jordan Fuller. I think he's going to push those guys for that starting role. And like I stated, before he got injured last year, he was on track to be the starter. I really feel like DeMarcco Hellams is one of those guys that can cover. He tackles really well in open space. If you go look at his film in 2023 or his highlights in 2023, he was a guy that made plays in open space very, very well. And was a guy, like I stated, that was that tone setter for that Atlanta Falcons defense in 2023. So I do want to give you guys thoughts on DeMarcco Hellams. Do you think that he'll be able to carve out a role on this 2025 Atlanta Falcons defense? I definitely think that he is a guy that has a chance to carve out a role on this defense. Like I said, if push come to shove, he'll be a guy that definitely will be a solid special teams player. But I could see him also being a guy that whether they rotate him in at some point where he's playing next to Jesse Bates, or whether you use him as a big nickel linebacker type situation where he's playing in the box. I believe because of his mentality, because of his ability to tackle, and he's one of those guys that's always around the football, I definitely think that he'll be an asset to this Atlanta Falcons defense. So with that being said, you guys give me your thoughts on DeMarcco Hellams. I have a lot more content coming for you guys. If you're new to the channel and you enjoy my content, please hit that subscribe button for your boy. But as always, Falcons Nation, rise up, be blessed. Peace.